Marry me. I'm Colleen Criswell, and in today's lecture, we will be discussing the Sabbat with the most difficult name, Lughnasadh. That is Lughnasadh. Many people have given up on trying to pronounce it, so they use the name Lammas, which is the Catholic celebration known as Mass, which is a very similar celebration, which just happens to fall on the same day of Lughnasadh, so it's very convenient. This celebration falls on August 1st in the Northern Hemisphere and on February 1st in the Southern Hemisphere. During this time in the world, we are seeing the harvest of grains in the farming community. And as we know, the ancient pagan people were made up primarily of farmers. All of the Sabbats mainly revolve around planting or harvesting, and this celebration is just that, a celebration of harvest. Now, as we discussed in a previous lecture, the celebration of the Sabbat Mabon is a Wiccan holiday that was founded in the 1970s, and that has been turned into the Witches' Thanksgiving. However, Lughnasadh is actually more to the point of Thanksgiving, as this is the biggest harvest time. During this time, the focus of harvest is grain, and grain is the most important simply because grains are the main food substance that will get us through the winter months that are coming up. Where all the other foods have a short shelf life, grains will last and are filling and will keep us alive. A good grain harvest means that when the winter comes, we will survive, and that is very important. Lughnasadh is named for the Celtic god Lugh. Lugh is a sun god, and his name means the bright one. And though the celebration is named for him, it is actually more for his adopted mother, who was a goddess associated with the harvest. He created this time to celebrate her. Lugh loved a good party. He was the type to enjoy competition and sport as well as a good drink. So usually during this time we focus on enjoying each other and celebrating and having fun. Games, especially things such as sports and games of skill and competition, are very important this time of year. So when we think of that, let's look at what's happening in the world of sports during this time. We have the Olympic Games. Usually football season is starting in the U.S. We see these sorts of things going on around us. The celebration of Lugh is felt throughout the world. So during these events, we usually have parties going on. People cheer for their favorite teams and compete with each other, tailgating and barbecue and gatherings of people to celebrate happen. And this comes with the traditional drink. Beer. Beer and ale come from grain. So these are very appropriate choices of beverages for when we are celebrating this holiday. Other grain alcohols are also very common when we celebrate, and this all goes along with the theme of Lughnasadh very well. Also coming from grain is bread. So making bread or items with bread. When we talk about tailgating, we have hot dogs and hamburgers, and those go on buns. We have dips that we spread on crackers, or even dipping bread into cheese and oils. Bowls are even made out of bread to eat soup and stew from. You can even craft things from bread, such as simple ornaments. Wheat and corn husks are used for decorations as well. The idea of creating a doll from the husks of corn or using stalks of wheat that are braided to form a figure or symbol placed in the center of an altar, and your wishes and needs and prayers are sent to that figure. You could even write your wishes on strips of dried corn husk if you can't create a figure. These are then burned in a bonfire in the evening and sent to the deities to help us get through the coming days. So there you have it. Lughnasadh is a harvest celebration that focuses on the idea of the harvest of the grain and the celebration of the end of summer. It is a lot of fun and should be celebrated with friends and family, with beer and bread and playing games or watching the game and cheering. Thank you for listening to this lecture, and thank you again, and merry Part.